Hey everybody, I'm Reality Rick and welcome to Geek Frustrations. In this series, I'm going to take you through the writing of my Geek Frustrations website. RubyOnRails.org. And it looks like the latest version is 4.2.1. I'm going to use the Windows installer. Now this is probably one of the more difficult ways to do it. I understand Apple computers have some of this already installed, so it's just ready to go. And I have run this on Linux systems as well, an Ubuntu system, and that was pretty simple to get up and going. Windows does not seem to get along very well with Ruby on Rails. The easy way to install Ruby on Windows. Let's see how easy it is. The last project I did was in 2.0.0, so I may learn a bit more about 2.2.2. I'm going to get the x64 version because I have Windows 64, 17 megabytes. Okay, so one way that we can give this a test to see if it's installed properly is check what version we're running. Ruby-V 2.2.2. It appears that it's installed and set up. Wow, I'm impressed. Pretty quick, pretty easy. It was a one-click installer. It seemed to be set. Okay, so I'm going to close this. First thing I'm going to do is install my gems. You know, it's really annoying when these things don't work out of the box. Okay, so I've been at this for some time now, and I am looking back at the website, and it says that we recommend using 2.1.x installers, and if you remember, I installed 2.2.2. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to try and install the 2.1.6. I'm still going to stick with the 64-bit and see if I can get that working. Now, one key difference is that there is a dev kit for the 2.1 versions, so that may help us with what we're trying to do here. So let's install this, English, and accept a license. And I am once again going to tick off all of the boxes. And finished. Okay, so the dev kit may come in handy, so I did the 2.1.6. So this is the 64-bit version here for use with Ruby 2.0, 2.1, 64 bits. I'm going to download that as well. Okay, good to go. It. Okay, let's try this command prompt again, and let's see what happens. Ruby version. Okay, there's our 2.1.6 Rails version. Just not there, so that means we need to gem install Rails, and we're going to try and save the time. No document rdoc and no document ri. And this should go much faster this time. Allow access. $35 gems installed. Okay, 5 gems more than last time. Interesting. So let's have a look. I do not see SQLite in there, so that's interesting. Bundler 1.9.4, and here's our JSON 1.8.1. That's what we had last time as well. Well, let's just take this for a spin and see if it works. Let's go Ruby version 2.1.6, Rails version 4.2.1. Okay, now Rails new test Postgres. Okay, it is still giving me a problem with this JSON gem. I am going to come back tomorrow. It's been working on this for way too long already, and there is a tutorial that I followed from YouTube before that's very good. Got it up and running on my other computer. Let's see if that can help us out with this problem. Okay, so continuing along with trying to install Ruby on Rails and get it working with Postgres, I am still fighting with the system. I have now followed the instructions from this other YouTube video, which I will post a link below. And I have followed the first two videos, and I have created this shortcut to a bat file. And it's about 20-25 minutes worth of video. I use this method to install Ruby on Rails onto my laptop. That was version 2.0.0 onto a 32-bit Windows. And currently I am trying to use the same method to install a 64-bit 2.1.6 onto this, my desktop. We'll see how it goes. Let's see if I've gotten anywhere with this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click this, and I'm going to go into I've created a empty development folder, and let's go ahead and install gems. Okay, so we have all the gems installed. Again, I did it the long way. I accidentally installed the documentation, so it took more than 10 minutes. But anyways, we'll move right along, and let's try creating a new application and see what happens. Okay, so I installed JSON as part of the test from that tutorial, so I have more faith in that working. We'll see how the rest of this bundle install goes. Bundle complete. Looks good. Let's give a quick look and see if it comes up. So we're back to running WebRick. This is good for the development. This is not what we will use when we post the website. Okay, so this is the tutorial that I followed. The link will be below. And we're up and running. Good, so yes, the notes from the tutorial will be below. So one thing I want to install before I really get going on this is Notepad++. It's just a text editor, but it's a little bit better than a regular Notepad. You can connect Explorer to it, and it will help you find your files as well. When you're typing the code, it will complete your brackets and your quotes, so you get a little bit of a check to see if you're doing things correctly. I want to see what... Take this one if you have no idea which one you should take. Let's take that one. Sounds good. I agree. Okay. We're going to run it. Plugins. Plugin manager. No. So how do I install a plugin for this. Resources. A list of plugins. Perfect. And let's try E for Explorer. Explorer plugin. HTML tag, that might be nice. Let's take the popular one. I'll save the file so I can use it later. And now let's go back, back, back. I actually came here for the Explorer one, so where is that? Explorer. And we'll download that one as well. Okay, let's try out that HTML tag plugin. I'm going to extract that to C program files, Notepad, and plugins. Now let's launch Notepad and see what we can find. Here's our HTML tag, find matching tags, select tag and contents. So it looks like that one is plugged in properly. It's looking for a DLL file, a dynamic link library. There's no DLLs in this stupid thing. It's a download page. I'm pretty sure I've already done this. uni.dll.zip. Save file. That's the difference. I just got the source code last time. I don't want the source code. I want the finished DLLs. So I'm going to extract that to back to the same folder as before. C program files, Notepad++, and plugins. Extract and continue. Okay, so here's our DLL that it solved for us. Now, this may not see it because it was already open when I installed that, so I'm going to close it and open it up again. And here's our Explorer. So now I can connect this, and we have our file tree here. I can now go through and open up files in the folders here. That's exactly what I wanted. So now this is going to be very useful for coding Ruby on Rails. This is the one that I'm going to use as my IDE. Next, I'm going to download the Postgres database because I want to be set up for Heroku. Heroku demands Postgres. You cannot use another database on it. So I want my website ready to go with that. Okay, so I'm going to do a Windows download. Okay, so I can download the installer from Enterprise DB, and for advanced users, they can download a zip archive. Well, this is my first time using it. I am not advanced. I am going to just download this one here. We are going to do the Windows x86 64 version of the latest 9.4.1. So many programs and version numbers. Save file. Okay, we're going to put Visual C++ in there. Welcome to Postgres Setup Wizard. This is where it's going to install. That's fine. Please select a directory for your data. It's fine. I'll probably have to hunt for it later. Program files, Postgres. Okay. Password. You don't get to see this. Okay. You don't have to pick anything super tricky for this. Once you post your website live, you can use a different database with a different password than what you use in your development. I'm putting this onto the computer for development purposes at this point, and I will worry about the production server when I upload. 5432 is the port number to listen on. This is pretty standard. Canada, let's try that one. The setup is now ready to install. So presumably, I now have Postgres SQL. Looks like it's all there. Okay, we're in good shape. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is install the gem. Exit configure failed. Exit code 1. Can't find the library pq-fe.h header. So I'm guessing that I'm going to have to work on my bat file to tell it where the libraries are. First thing I'm going to do is try and find it myself so I know where it is. C program files, Postgres 9.4, and I'm guessing when I direct it towards the bin directory. Okay, so there's our link. Notepad RoR.bat. And we're going to go copy, paste, and then we want this thing here. Program files, Postgres SQL. Takes my link away. Program files, PostgreSQL / 9.4 / bin. There's a space and program files there. Okay. Let's see if that helps any. I'm gonna run my bat again. cd test pg gem install pg. Successfully installed with invalid options. 5 fish. I'm not sure what that means, but I've got 1 gem installed after 4 seconds, so that's fantastic. My Notepad++ and config Let me show you where this file is. Under my development, my project, test PG, and then there's a config folder, and if I just select that, this database YML will come up. Test PG development, that's the name of the database that it's trying to find. And that is actually an excellent name, so I am going to go back really quick and I'm going to create that database along with test PG test. So database, new database, and we wanted test PG test, copy and paste with no owner, done, and then I'm going to create the test PG development. Oops, let's select the whole thing. New database, paste, and I'm not going to worry about the production one. We won't need that until we actually post the website, but we can toggle back and forth between these two when we're developing. So now let's go back to this and try our DB migrate again. No password supplied. Okay, so I've attempted adding username Postgres because if I go under login roles, we have a Postgres user here with the credentials listed, and it's the only user that I have right now because I haven't set up a lot of databases doing many different things. This is just my first time using it, and I'm just testing it out. So now that I've added the Postgres username, I've hit save, and I'm going to migrate yet again. And this time, finally, we have success. So it appears that our Ruby on Rails is now talking with our Postgres database. So there were a multitude of steps in there. I'm just going to recap. You have to go into your Postgres and set up a database. I did it through PG admin, the graphical user, and you have to make note of who the user is. But once you have that database and user created, you do not have to create a table because that's what happens here in Ruby on Rails when you do the rig db migrate. And it has created an integer and a text for me. So it looks like we are set up and ready to start developing. I'm back into my happy place. I prefer developing. The setup was a little bit more involved than I had hoped. I hope they get those one-click installers a little bit more one-click-ish, because there was a lot of clicks involved. Anyways, have yourselves a good day, and we will see you in the next video.